it's NBA All-Star Weekend here in Los Angeles, and we're coming to you from the Homage Pop-Up Shop in LA. And with it being All-Star Weekend in LA, Ralph, I mean, it's only right to talk to one of the Lakers legends, Michael Cooper. Michael.
Glad to be here, Jason. It's always fun now to be. No, you don't get one. It's fun now to be with Ralph, but he remembers that I don't too much. Well, I like him, but he did something very nasty to us that kind of took the wind out of our sails. You know, when he hit that shot when we were playing Houston.
I do remember that.
Out, so,
but you know, you would have. Magic says, and you guys said, you know, I made you mad, and you won next 2 years in a row.
I want to win that year.
Want to win that game.
You were a 5-time NBA champion. You know, you can't be too greedy. You got one for each.
He wanted to win 6, right? That'd win 6.
Yeah.
I mean,
Bill Russell has a ring for all his hands and his toes.
Exactly.
3 of them at least.
Yeah, exactly. He's got a lot of them. Yeah. But 5-time NBA champion, NBA Defensive Player of the Year in 1987. You're a 5-time All-Defensive First Team. You're also a 2-time WNBA champion as the head coach of the LA Sparks and a D-League champion. In fact, you are the only person to have won a championship in the NBA, the WNBA, and the NBA D-League.
So what are you saying? I'm a trivia question now?
You are, and I'm saying now the NBA is coming out with the 2K League. Are you going to try to go for that one too? Get in a video game?
The trifecta is good enough for me.
So of all your many accomplishments, because that's a lot, what are you most proud of?
I think the one I'm most proud of is being Defensive Player of the Year, simply before, and I've never been one into individual accolades, but I think being a defensive player, especially the only Laker to ever win it, after having so many legendary players come through that organization, that's the one I'm kind of proud of. But it was always done through my teammates. I couldn't have done it without them.
They never played defense. They didn't want the showtime. They want to run.
Yeah, Showtime. You let everyone else run.
But you have to understand, you got to get the
play
balls.
defense.
That's right. Yeah, somebody had to play
defense.
Right, exactly. Do you remember playing against Michael and what it was like in scouting him in the game? What you guys would talk about when you had to face someone like Michael, who was a Defensive Player of the Year?
You know, you had to have your track shoes on because they get it out and run, and he's gonna run the break in the wing, and he know Magic gonna throw it to him in a lob, or he know he gonna get the ball. He gotta do his run, and he just gotta get the no look pass down. But you know, they play well. But you know, we knew we had to always put your track shoe on. And while we was out there watching the stars on the side of the thing, they would run them down the freaking court.
Right.
Come on, man, they had an unfair advantage.
Yeah, they were used to it. You weren't.
They were trying to get in the movies because they were paying attention to Jack Nicholson on the side. That's why we positioned him there. So that's
smart.
another
That was
story.
smart. That was good. Nice. Now, do you remember going up against Ralph, and how would you prepare to face off against Houston Rockets and someone like Ralph Sampson?
Well, I'm glad you put it that way because I never had to guard Ralph. That was Kareem's problem. But again, I think their team, they were the original Twin Towers. So we understood that fact in going there to play them. Lewis Lloyd, Robert Reed, they had a bunch of talented young players on that team. So we knew we were going to have to fight. They weren't as dirty as the bad boys, but they were very, very aggressive basketball team. So we knew that especially down in Houston, we knew we had to bring our A game. And our biggest concern was we knew they were going to double team Kareem. You know, Elijah Wan or Ralph would play him, and then that other one would always come weak side to affect his shot. So, but it was a great series. It was a very competitive series. We knew we had to come play. I think at that time in the NBA, everybody respected everybody, so you always brought your A game.
Right.
I tell people all the time, night after night, you playing these guys, you playing Boston, you playing Detroit. I mean, it's not like today where every night you had to, as you said, bring your A game. It's totally different now.
Now, you prided yourself on your defense in your career, an incredible defensive player. Who was maybe the toughest guy you had to go against, toughest guy to guard?
The toughest player I've ever had to guard was Larry Bird, and I say that in the fact that Larry, there was players that you knew that you could play that you just had to stop them once they had the basketball, but once they passed it, you know, you could take a breather. Larry could beat you by diving out of bounds for a loose ball, for a rebound, going up for a shot, an assist, a steal. He was very, very one of the toughest ones to play that you couldn't rest. But the toughest players, I mean, Andrew Toney for the Sixers, George, I can't finger roll Gervin. You had young Michael Jordan at that time, and he was just an athlete, and I think Michael Jordan only got better as Kobe did when they got later on, and you kind of lose a little bit of your athleticism, and you start posting up a little more. So there was a variety of players back at that time, but Larry would be the hardest one.
Wow, okay. Ralph, who was the hardest guy for you to go up against? Like, who played the best defense on you in your career that you were like, oh, we're facing him tonight? Oh, man.
Well, when Cooper remember said when they had Maurice Lucas, he would come and just punch you in the chest from the beginning before the jump off. And so, like, big fella, I'm coming to get you. I'm like, okay, you got to catch me to get me first. So he was hard and tough. And so, man, they had the big power forwards were 6'9", 6'10" guys that were really strong. So when I moved from center to forward, I had to guard those guys.
Wow.
And Kim didn't want to guard the power guys. He wanted to guard the center. And then I had to take the other guys. So everybody in the league at that point in time, but Ray was one of the toughest guys you could play against.
Wow. So I have a question for you.
Oh, please, please.
So, and he's not a point guard.
He's not a point guard. So just looking at it from an outsider looking on the inside, when you wake up in the morning, what's the toughest decision you have to make in your dress? Okay, is it going to be a Showtime Lakers shirt, or is it going to be a Boston Celtics Sox shirt? Or is it going to be what decisions do you make?
I really just play to the hometown crowd, you know. So knowing that
he's from Cleveland,
okay,
I am from Cleveland. So
Cleveland.
I'm a Cavs fan. I got some old school Cavs gear. I rock them first and foremost. But with you here, of course, I got to dress appropriately. Look, this is you on here.
I like
popping
that.
a bottle of champagne right there.
Now let me ask you a question. Are you a Cleveland Cavaliers fan or are you a LeBron James fan?
Well, I'm a Cleveland Cavaliers fan.
Okay,
I'm
so
a
there was a lot
James
of woes
fan.
that went with you before they won
Are you a
championship.
fair weather?
That's right.
No, I'm not a fair weather fan. I've been through it my entire life. I mean, I stuck through the early 90s were pretty bad too. No, early 90s were okay. They ran into MJ and the Bulls, but then mid 90s was rough when
that's
Lamont
called
Murray and
running
Ricky
into
Davis.
a buzzsaw.
Yeah,
That's not
exactly.
called running into
Get ready to get chewed up there.
But
for sure.
I'm loyal. I'm not a bandwagon fan, except for when it comes to what I'm going to put on and wear. Then I get dressed up for you. Or
well, that's
whoever the
great.
guest is.
With the All-Star game being here in Los Angeles, that's an appropriate wear.
I think
for
so.
Today, so.
When you see, living in LA, you see all this old school Lakers stuff everywhere you go. You probably see your jersey, your name. You're on these posters here. How does that make you feel? Is it just like
somewhere in that poster, right?
Family photos everywhere you go? What is it like for you?
You know what? It was an honor and a pleasure to see that, and it's very appreciative that the fans understood what we did. I think to create the excitement that's happening in Los Angeles as well as in the NBA in whole. But that was back then. This is now, and I'm a dad and a husband, and but it's fun. It's fun to see it every now and then. It kind of makes me. And Ralph
think
probably
back,
could.
Think back, wow. As I came and saw all the pictures and posters, like, okay, wow, that's like artists and fellas. It's kind of crazy to see old pictures of the guys and.
See, the luxury Ralph has is he still has his hair. I don't have any hair.
That's okay. You own it. That's like it's a clean shave. I like it. It's a good look. It's a good
I just don't grow hair anymore.
Okay,
so
well,
I have to shave.
that's even easier. You save time on that. That's good. Now you said that Larry Bird was the toughest player you ever to play against. I looked up and actually Larry Bird said that the best defender he ever faced in his career was you. So it's a pretty big compliment on both sides of the equation there. That you didn't like guarding him, but he didn't like going up against you either.
Well, those are some of the things that you cherish and the respect factor that you have for other professional athletes when you play against them. But he was one of the best, and for that to be coming from my peers or one of the honored peers, it's a big honor. So I really.
Some people say Larry was a trash talker. So you would know how many series over the year after year in the '80s, the Lakers, Celtics. Tell us the truth. I know he couldn't talk much to you because you was in his jock all night long.
And that's what I was going to say.
But I know he didn't say.
But he had one thing he said to me. We were playing them in the championship series that they actually beat us in '84, and I had pretty good game so far up until that point. And he tell me one time we go down the score and he comes down and I'm kind of like in his face to face. He says, "I'm getting ready to wear your ass out." So I'm really getting my best defensive stance. I'm down. He comes off this pick, Robert Parrish, and he catches the ball and he's going up to shoot. And I'm saying, I'm right there. And just as I got ready to block it, he dished it because Kareem had took a step forward, dished it to Parrish, and Parrish scored the basket. He said, "I told you."
Wow.
So,
that
man. But he knew he couldn't talk too much. He had to really focus when he played against us. It wasn't just me. It was the magic rivalry that they had going. So that was it.
I feel like the NBA in the '80s when you guys played, guys didn't like each other like they do today. They weren't texting each other and hanging out, in the off season. You guys were boys with your teammates. You wanted to win, and you left it all on the court. How do you think the game has changed today in today's NBA?
Ralph, what do you think?
Yeah.
I wish we had the private planes and the chefs in the locker room.
We might have been able to play a couple
more
years.
Longer and all the stuff they have, but all the stuff they have today compared to back then. I mean, waking up. We didn't get really private planes till the end of the season. When you get the playoffs, you had those back to back, and then we played back to back to back, not just double games. So I think the guys today, I mean, they good, they athletic. Some of them could have played in our era, but most of them would have got eaten up.
Yeah.
Alive.
Wow. I think social media has really made it a different game, and I think again, these young men, although they are playing at the highest level of professional basketball, they still see themselves as a brand now.
Right,
so I think they have to, Snapchat that and tweet that and do all of that, and I think that's how the game has changed for me. In a sense, though, but a little bit is that I don't think they're as focused as we were back then. I think they go into the game with the intentions of winning, but losing used to hurt. Back in the day, when we lost the game, I mean,
you wouldn't give them that, but nobody would say a word.
And I think guys now, they lose a game, and then you go hug them after the game. No, I ain't about that. I'm not trying to hug you. You just beat me.
Right.
That's a big difference. That's a huge difference.
Well, after your playing career, you've had an amazing coaching career as well. You've been an assistant at the NBA level with the Lakers and with the Nuggets, and then head coach of in the WNBA with the Sparks, and obviously in the D League, college basketball, USC. When did you know that you wanted to get into coaching?
Probably about fifth year. I think it happened the way Pat Riley used to prepare us to play. Pat was a coach of immense attention to detail. And we had tapes, especially when you get to the playoffs. He had a tape. And to make sure that you would listen to your tape, he would put a code word in your tape.
Oh, wow.
And you had to hear it.
Yeah, you had to hear it.
And
he's
going to ask you and call you out.
Okay, what's your code word? He used to go down the line because guys, the first year we did it, he didn't do anything. And guys were faking like they were going to watch it. So now that made you watch your tape. My code word could be Cooper, could be offense. So he said, what's your code word? Offense. So he knew that you watched it. And the ones that he knew were going to watch it, the code word would be early in it. The ones he knew would probably be toward the end. So that there kind of like triggered me to like want to coach. And again, attention to detail was very, very important to him.
I did Rouse because I know we had, when I was in Sacramento and we had training camp together over in Hawaii's place. And I know you guys ran a whole lot because he was, I mean, you're talking about running, you ran. I know you guys ran. I had some guys talking about like, we ran, but we had to go on the side and use the trash can for a second because it was that time to get rid of it. But how did he handle Kareem, Magic, you, Worthy, a lot of egos, but everybody came together for one cause. He did a hell of a job coaching you guys, but you take some of his teaching as you now coach or coach. What did you take from him from a player coach?
Ralph, you know how you just stated that when you guys went over to the side to the trash can? We knew it was going to be a tough practice when Pat Riley would come in and he goes, okay, everybody, you better drink your spit. Because we knew that we were going to have water the first 30 or 40 minutes. And he would run, but after a while, that discipline pays in. And after like our first championship, he didn't have to push us too much. He knew that we were going to hold each other accountable for our actions. But the one thing he used to say is, training camp isn't for you to come in to get in shape. Training camp is for us to get our game down so we can start the season. So all our players came into shape in training camp, and that was after the first, because Rouse is going to either run it off of you.
Real quick.
And
and we didn't have those rules. You went training camp for 30 days. 2 days for 30 days. You didn't go for 7 days and play a game and all these rules or whatever. You went hard for 30 days, and then they try to run it out of you for sure.
And
get you
the
in
other
shape.
fact is that these players now, and Coach Popovich started this, one of the best coaches in this league. But the fact that he would say, I'm tired, I need a day off. In the middle of the season, we didn't have that. You got tired. And if, like me, Magic, you want to take some time out, go ahead. Because I'm going to slide in the starting spot. I'm going to get it back. So, but I think yesterday's players, which is us, were a little bit more dedicated. But still, today's players are a brand new game. They've taken it to a whole nother level. And they made basketball more popular around the world.
Which of today's players impresses you the most? That you would pay to watch them play, that you wish you had an opportunity to either play with or against?
Well, the one player I really admire a lot, and I play against his father, Dale Curry, is Steph Curry. I would really like to play against him because that's a kid there that works every moment out on the floor, as well as that whole Golden State team. But you always want to stop the great ones. And the thing about that kid is you got to get him as soon as he come across half court. You know,
so, he gonna shoot it from half court.
And Rob, what do you think about Draymond Green? I mean, him guarding players, smaller players, because he's tough. I mean,
I think it's tough, but he's on the right team at the right time. I don't think he could do what he does on any other team in the league. Because he doesn't have to score.
Right.
All you got to do is get that intangible tip, rebound, play good, tough defense, maybe hit a three. We'll give you a bone a little bit, hit a three, and then you go talk trash, and you can make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I think he's on the right team for him, for his game, because I don't think he could do that anywhere else.
And you know what? And I admired him a lot, Draymond Green, but his ability to play different positions. It's like when we played, you had Ralph and Elijah Wan. Then the next night you're gonna see Moses Malone. The next night you're gonna see Patrick Ewing. He wouldn't have been able to play those type of players at that size. Now he's a tough kid. You gotta give him that, but still he was small. And then you gotta defend Kareem. So it's a different, unique system that they have now. Different players, but those two players are one of the best.
You can imagine going against Mahorn, Lambert, that crew, and then you got Tree and Dominique in Atlanta. You got the big boys. I mean, every team had two big guys, two legitimate big guys.
Ain't no way he was going to be flip-flopping.
No, he wasn't.
And try to play 48 minutes.
He couldn't guard. I mean, you think about him guarding you or Worthy?
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
Crazy.
I'm like you, Ralph. You got to catch me.
Those track shoes on. Yeah.
You got to be out there and make it work.
Now, Michael, you're from Pasadena originally. You spent your whole life in Southern California for the most part. I mean, what did it mean to you to be drafted by the Lakers, by your hometown team, and then get to play your career here in Los Angeles?
It was a dream come true because the day of the draft back in '79, I was at the park playing basketball. And I figure Reggie Theus, which is another local star we have here, got drafted out of UNLV, got drafted to Chicago. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, I'm going to probably go somewhere back east.
Right.
So my uncle, after the draft, walked down and he says, Michael, come here. And I'm in there playing stuff. I said, well, he said, Lakers drafted you.
Yeah.
I was stunned. So it really didn't become a true reality until the first day I walked in at LMU to training camp and I saw Kareem out there shooting sky hooks. And I said, you know what, I'm here.
Yeah.
I've arrived.
Yeah.
I'm home. I'm good.
Did you have any mentors early in your career when you came on to the Lakers? I mean, you came on to obviously a primetime team, became the Showtime Lakers very quickly after you joined them. Was there anyone that took you under their wing and that you really admired, respected, learned a lot from?
It would have to be Norm Nixon because when I first got with the team. But again, that team was laden with a lot of stars. They had Ron Boone, Lou Hudson, Adrian Dantley. They had a lot of talent on that team. And Jerry West slowly but surely materialized that team into where it became Showtime. But all those guys were out for their jobs. And the only one that was really secure, I felt at the time, was Norm Nixon. So when I got to training camp, I'm trying to find my way around, a young guy with all these pros and vets. And Norm was like, man, just relax and just play basketball. So he was kind of a warning.
Good bet to have.
Yeah, very cool. Are there any, now in your coaching career, you've coached at every single level, are there any guys that really stand out that you take an extra sense of pride in their success, men or women, at the WNBA, the NBA, or the D-League? In their success, you feel you played a significant role in it?
Well, the one in my NBA quest, I had an opportunity to coach in Denver Nuggets and became the interim head coach for like 12 or 14 games. Carmelo Anthony. And that young man, you know, he really, really pays attention to his craft. A lot of people see him as being aloof, but he really works hard. And he is truly one of the best scorers that I've ever seen play this game of basketball under certain situations. He can do it from the inside and outside, so he's the one I admire,
I mean, a lot of guys today, Kevin Durant doesn't go down low all the time. He shoots the three or whatever, but Melo can do it. The only thing he's not right now is, that he holds the ball too much because he's used to that, having the ball and having to score all the time. In today's game, it's like draw, kick, pass, shoot the three. But, even off season, he got in shape. He got in better shape. He was in L.A., hanging out, getting in shape. His game is improved. He maybe has a couple more years in the league, but great. I've seen him work before. Person that knows the game.
You're right about that. Is that my time had him in Denver. He would come into camp a little overweight, and I think he's gotten more serious about it now because I can even tell just by looking at him, his figure when he comes into the season. So probably the best woman I've ever had the opportunity to coach, well, best two I'll say, is Lisa Leslie and Candace Parker. Lisa was, she was fantastic. That young lady worked as hard as any guy that I've ever played against or with. and she slowly but surely turned the LA Sparks into a championship team.
Yeah.
She used to quiz me all the time, ask me questions. She was one of the players that never went overseas. She stayed home. That's a luxury she had because she was able to do some things off court to help supplement her finances. But she and I worked out 4 times a week. Even when she got pregnant with her daughter, her first child, she worked out up until a month before her pregnancy, until the birth of her child. So, but she's amazing. She used to go up to UCLA and practice with Magic's men's travel team back then.
Oh, wow.
And I told them, I said, you know what, guys, just play her a little bit and let her go. Don't be too physical. And every time they did that, Lisa would give them buckets. And then they would get physical, put their hands on her, and then she went out the window because she couldn't handle the physicality of the NBA. So those two were the best.
Yeah, and 2 great women though.
Yeah, absolutely.
And championship after championship with the Sparks. So turn the NBA around.
Pretty special that you got to be a part of 5 Lakers championships and LA Sparks.
But it would have been 6 if Ralph hadn't hit that shot. I'm still angry at him.
You got 2 after that, man. I gotta get one.
Are there any losses that stay with you more than anything else?
But that loss by Houston, that sticks to me there. Yeah. That one was an ouchie there.
Now living in LA, when I get there, everybody say, I hate you, I don't like you anymore.
Right.
My business, like, okay, I remember that shot, but you won 2 championships after that.
Yeah.
But I tell them all the time, I say, look, we came from a grueling series in Denver against Alex Lingers and that crew, and 7 games here. We came to LA and you blew us out here in LA. And then we won the next 4. But if we'd have lost that, we'd come to LA. We would come to Houston anyway. So I think you'd have lost anyway.
Yeah, and you know what? No, that's a true story. When after that first game, and then we played the second, I knew we weren't going to beat you guys because you guys, we would get up by 10, and in a minute or 2, they would be back in the game. So
they drove with the first game. We were so tired coming from that 7th game, and we 24 hours, 48 hours later, we were playing again.
Yeah, but usually that's the best thing to do. Excuse me for cutting you off. Is when you come out of a tough series. I think we had a couple of days off before. That's the best to keep that rhythm going, and that's why they were so tough to play.
It's amazing. Definitely a different game. I mean, today's day and age, you don't play every 24 hours. It's the playoffs. They have a couple days in between to regroup. I mean, you guys just went at it. Now, another thing is a little different back then. The style in the NBA. We've got some proof here that we've got the short shorts, but you always were known for the knee-high socks too. How did that start? Well, how did you come up with this look?
How many pair did you wear?
Yeah.
I wore 4.
4 pairs?
I wore 4 pairs too. I wore 4 pairs of socks.
Oh my God.
I wore 4 pairs of socks because I didn't like to tape my ankle, so I figured that would give me. But that came about when I was a young man growing up here. In 1974, they had started having to play game of the week in high school. And obviously our whole team was African American, so my grandmother had glaucoma real bad, and it was the first time that we had played. So she said, you have to do something to distinguish yourself from the other players. So I wore long white socks, 2 white sweatbands. I used to put my strings out. And that's how, and I had my best game.
Wow. That's how it started. So grandma could see you. That
she could see me.
Well, most people say you got those sweatbands because you were dunking, you don't want to hit your hand on the rim.
That wasn't it, Ralph. My grandmother had to see me. So I hit long.
Yeah, that's why I wear wristbands too, for the dunking. Yeah, right.
We figure all the checks you signing to me and Ralph.
Exactly.
And then something with your wrist.
Yeah, that'd be good too. That's good.
Yes, indeed.
Did you have any certain style things that was a signature for you?
I have wristbands, and because when I came up, I watched Kareem, I watched Willis Reed, artists, the big guys.
Right.
So I had the wristbands, I ran with my thumbs up. The socks were way up.
Right.
We had the short shorts back then and proving that picture. But I always wear biking shorts underneath. Because everything had to be kind of tight. You don't want a loose jersey or anything like that. You just want something to be tight on you to make it work.
Ralph, they're officially called Daisy Dukes. That's what we wore before we go.
I'm in Houston. You in LA, you got style out here. We just had. I come to the game. Y'all was dressed. I come to the game in sweatsuits. Y'all came to the game in 3-piece suits and hats and Kangol and everything else. I came in sweats.
What's one of your favorite stories of that time playing at the Forum? I mean, the Forum Club, all these celebrities there. There's got to be a couple moments or stories that really stand out.
Oh, there's some great ones. I just can't tell you.
I know.
A whole lot of them.
Oh my God.
So you're a player coming in.
Yeah.
You know Jack's gonna be sitting there,
Right.
Jerry Buss, he would invite you to the Forum Club before the game.
What?
And then after the game. Like, okay, great. Come,
As an opposing player.
Come on up to the Forum Club. Okay, great.
And
They're
Diane
not getting
Carroll,
ready.
too. Diane Carroll was there.
Diane Carroll was there.
So,
Wow. And would you do that before a game? Before a game, would you go to the Forum Club?
Because after my first time,
Yeah.
you understand, like, okay, you would get kicked. My first year coming out here, we got killed. I didn't have a team at that point in time.
Wow.
Oh, come up to the Forum Club. Now, then Jerry tried to get me, I to speak to Norm sometimes, like, okay, he wanted me to play with the Lakers and this and that. Okay, great. I wish I would have came out that year because Worthy would have made it count like it, but it worked out. It worked out for everybody.
Sure.
But yeah, the Forum Club, the front row, the Forum Club after the game.
You know what? That's the little trick that Bill Russell used to do to Will. You know, he would take him out, before the game, take him out, wine and dine, and then beat him to death the next day. That's what we did. We try to soften him up a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
So it's just an owner doing it.
Yeah, wow. Okay, I like it. Well, maybe that was
a
secret
Bill
weapon.
story.
That was a secret weapon of the Showtime Lakers. I like that. All right, so it's NBA All-Star Weekend here in LA. Any predictions? All-Star Game MVP this year?
I am very excited, first of all, to see the game because the way they formatted it this year, I think was something different.
Yeah.
I don't want to see 169 to 170 scores. I want to see a little bit of defense play.
So
but
like 150 to 145?
something like that.
Right, yeah.
But I like the fact that they let the players pick their own teams. They could be a little biased, though, but again, I think that gives them some responsibility on coming out there and playing and at least making the fans enjoy the game a little bit more than just being a slam dunk contest or see who can score the most points.
Totally.
MVP, Steph Curry.
Steph Curry?
He's about to do one.
Steph Curry.
He might be doing.
I don't think he's ever been MVP of an All-Star game, so
No. I mean, they got a loaded squad, but I mean, Kevin Durant may have something to prove. LeBron may have something to prove.
Yeah.
Down the stretch.
I can see
I think
that.
it's going to be a little bit more competitive than last year.
Right.
Because now you're not in New Orleans. You're in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And now everything's happening in LA and the team and other. So somebody's going to want to show because you'll get not just USA, United States, that you're going to get worldwide attention being here in LA.
Exactly.
So, it's like playing in New York. You got to show up here. You got to show up in LA. So the big boys would have to come play hard.
And your
I see
MVP?
that. I like you make him. He was being political.
Yeah,
Ralph is very political.
I'm putting him on the spot.
That's good. I like that.
Well,
I like
I'm going to go again. I'm not going to take Steph, but I think since LeBron's team's been depleted with injuries,
Wow, that is
I think he's got to show up.
Yeah.
I think he's got to show up more.
So LeBron.
I think he's got to show up more. If he has any,
Yeah. So we're both picking the captains of our team. Okay.
Wow, we really went out on a limb, the two of you there. Yeah, the two captains. But
Okay, who
I
do
like
you
that.
have?
I think it's going to be someone from LA who wants to put on a show in front of their hometown fans. So I've narrowed it down to either Westbrook, Paul George, or DeRozan. All three of those guys are from LA. So I forget which roster they're on because I think Team LeBron is maybe a little stronger. So maybe Westbrook. He's on Team LeBron.
Westbrook, yeah,
he's been MVP twice already in All-Star games, so his teammates might not want him to win it again. But he's someone who does go 100% even in All-Star games. He doesn't take it like an exhibition. He will go out and still want to win and want to destroy people. So I'll say Westbrook. Yeah.
2-on-1 as usual. That's okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. That's okay. Yeah. Nice. Something really interesting that I read about you was when you were 3 years old.
He went way back.
Yeah, way
Yeah.
back. That you badly cut your knee and you had to get over 100 stitches to close it, and a doctor said to you that you may never walk again. I mean, obviously you were 3 years old. I don't know if you remember that at all, but what happened? And obviously you overcame that to have an incredible athletic career.
Well, in the South, my grandmother, them were from New Hebron, Mississippi.
Yeah.
They used to the Folgers coffee cup, the coffee cans. They would cut it, pour the coffee out, and they would put the bacon grease and chicken grease in it. And then they would put it on the back porch. They had filled this one up and put it on the back porch. And our dog had a litter, and the puppies came up and knocked it over. So I was going outside to see it, and for some unknown reason, usually she cuts the top off the can. She left the top on, so it was kind of like this. So they had knocked it over, so I go out and I slip on that, and my knee, right in between that jagged, 110 stitches. But God's been good.
Yeah.
My grandmother prayed over me, and it worked
You
out.
put a little grease on your chicken. A little chicken grease or
Wow. Yeah.
fried potato grease or something that was good.
Yeah, just a little known thing when I was doing a little research about you that really blew me away. That at such a young age you overcame something that was pretty serious. And
You ever seen the movie Forrest Gump?
Of course.
Where they're chasing him and he had those legs, but I had one of those on my leg with the brace on the shoe that went all the way down because they had to stabilize my knee.
Oh man!
So.
You're the original Forrest Gump.
No, I didn't run out of two of them. I just ran out of one.
All right.
And didn't run cross country, but ran enough laps for Pat Riley to run that far.
You did.
Sure.
You put enough miles on throughout your NBA career. You probably did run cross country a couple of times. Where was the toughest place for you to play in your, when you were on the road?
Boston Garden.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because
kept the
when you
locker room
would,
hot.
I know. Well, for us, Ralph, we always went there in the winter because you play them windows open, air conditioner on.
Yeah.
And we had to close. I mean, it took you a long time. When you go there in the summer, they got the windows closed and heat up. So they were bad about that.
Really bad.
Bill.
Really.
Ralph, what was the hardest place for you?
Yeah.
And I didn't like Utah for some reason.
Yeah.
Just because of the floor. Because it had it over the ice and it was all dusty. And the owner sit beside the bench, Larry Miller.
And that was that old arena they
old
played.
arena they played at the
Wow,
Star Palace. So I couldn't ever get until like the third quarter, I finally kicked it in gear. But I was always hated it. And then you had Mark Eaton to play against. And like, okay, I had to move him out the way was a nightmare.
Only person your height or taller.
That guy laid Eiffel Tower, man, and wide too. Mark was a
getting
specimen
around and getting
there.
up down. I can run him up down the court, but you can't get around him. But then you ain't gonna dunk on him because he's just not gonna move.
He's a tree.
I mean, 300 pounds.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is that they would grind games out to make it a tough last 3 minutes of the game. So Mark didn't have to run. That was when they kept it tight. So he's a tough one, Ralph. Yeah. I'm glad I didn't have to guard him.
No.
Yeah, really.
I mean, he wouldn't move.
Yeah, unbelievable. Well, we could talk for days, for hours of basketball with you. We really appreciate your time. And, like I said, you're the only person, it's a little trivia, but you're the only person in history to win a championship in the NBA, the WNBA, and the D-League.
So you total those. So 5 NBA.
5 in the NBA, 2 WNBA, and a D-League championship.
So 8. We got 8.
8, yeah, so you're getting greedy. You wanted
more
another
than-
ring, too. You got 8.
Yeah, Ralph would have got it if Ralph had to hit that shot. I'm going to stay on him about
So
that.
it might be Bill than you.
No, you got to start gaming because now the 2K league's coming out, and you'll get all 4 of the NBA leagues, and you'll get 2 more rings.
I hope so.
There you go. Hey, it could be the video game league. You never know. But it's been an honor chatting with you, Michael. It's
Thank
been
you,
awesome.
sir. It's always a pleasure to see Big Ralph.
All right. Thank you so much. It's been great hanging with Mr. Cooper here, the original, and we'll have to have you back on again sometime soon.
Sooner or later,
Talk about it.
Got to get the Coop Show going, so it's good.
That's right.
The Lake Show's got to be the Coop Show.
Oh, the Coop Show. I like it. It's never off. Always on. All right. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.